Hi there, welcome to this video. This is Bibi Cameron here for Tonic Studios, and today I'm going to put together this beautiful box using Jewellery box die set. This is a 27 pieces die set and has any set by Tonic Studios. It includes main dies or these large frame dies that are essential to die cut your project, and also several decorative or intricate dies to decorate that project. And here we have two different sets of decorative dies to customize the box. None of these intricate dies will cut around the edge. So in this die set we also have these solid frames here that will cut not only the edge of those decorative panels but also a background piece for them. So let me explain you here a little bit better. If you use a combination of the frame die and also the intricate die, and you die cut the paper, you will get a piece like this. And if you use only these frame dies here, you will easily get the backing pieces for those decorative panels. And I spent about 15 minutes die cutting all the pieces I need for this box. And I'm using here three different cardstock colors and qualities. For the decorative panels, I'm using Harvest Gold Mirror Card. For the backing panels, a Smooth Mint Satin Effect Mirror Card. And for the box base, I'm using Fresh Mint Pearlescent Cardstock. Gluing together mirror cardstock or pearlescent cardstock is a little bit more challenging than average texture cardstock or any other cardstock, but is worth the extra effort. So I'm going to show you here how many die cuts you need. So you are going to need two of each of these ones and just one of those square shapes there for the box. You are going to need a backing panel for each decorative panel. It looks like a bunch of die cutting, but you have so many dies in the set, you only have to run this through the machine a couple of times. I put all the frame die cuts, all the decorative dies with the frames then, and I die cut many of them at the same time. So this took only 15 minutes. After die cutting, all I have to do is to adhere these decorative panels onto the background panels. And it's very easy to identify what piece goes with what because of the shapes. You are not going to get lost there. A tip I have here to adhere this super quick is to add glue at the back of the decorative or intricate die cuts and allow the glue to dry for a little bit. You can add glue to various pieces at the same time. Wait for the glue to dry a little bit and then adhere them on the background panels so that it will stick super quick and you will have less glue all around the paper. Because this is mirror cardstock, it's super easy to clean the extra glue even when it's dry. I like to use a slightly wet microfiber cloth to get rid of the excess of glue. I prefer to do it when the glue is wet, but you can also do this when the glue is dry. It's very important to bear in mind that I'm using very little water in that towel and that this is mirror cardstock. So it allows me to wipe the excess of glue over it with no problem. I'm being very gentle and I take my time to do this as nicely as I can. So it takes at least 20 minutes to glue the decorative panels together, to clean the excess of glue and to polish them, because I literally polish that mirror cardstock. Once I have finished gluing those decorative panels, I'm going to grab these two pieces here that are the base or the body of the box. I'm going to identify this flap here and I'm going to add just in that area this strong Tonic Studios double-sided tape. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other piece. These pieces are identical, so I have to do exactly the same on both of them. And once I have this done, I'm going to burnish that tape really hard there. And I'm going to fold the paper just with my hands. I'm using pearlescent card, and this cardstock doesn't like very much the scoring tool. There is no need to use a scoring tool with this paper or to burnish the paper, because you can crack the paper or create marks. So there you go. We have two identical pieces, and we are going to place one next to the other one, and we are going to adhere this, making sure that the top and the bottom of that piece are perfectly aligned. And I'm being very careful when doing this, because that double-sided tape is incredible strong. So I'm just placing this piece just there, just over it, but I'm not adhering the piece really. I'm going to fold the paper, and I'm making sure that the corners are aligned, and then with my fingers I do some pressure to stick that corner. So this is done, and you can just stick this piece together in this area here if you want, and if you are not going to add any decorative panel. But as I have a bunch of decorative panels to add, I'm going to do that before assembling the box. So I'm using also that double-sided tape here at the back of these panels to adhere them on the box. But of course you can use just glue if you want. I can use glue in the center of these pieces here to make sure that you have an extra bond there, but it's not necessary. Now, this piece here is the bottom of the box. It has some scoring lines here, or the die creates those scoring lines, and all you have to do is to fold those scoring lines like so. And again, do it with your fingers. You don't need to use a scoring tool here. Use just your fingers and apply gentle pressure. I already add double-sided tape on those flaps, and remember, this double-sided tape is ultra strong, and I'm going to adhere this panel to the bottom of that piece there. And because we need to get this right, I'm going to fold the paper to guide myself on where I have to place or adhere this piece. I'm going to pay attention to this corner here, and I'm going to align the edge of that panel with that corner, and then I double check if that's in the right position, and once I'm sure, I can adhere this in place. And then I just with my fingers apply pressure, also with a scoring tool, to adhere that in place. I verify that everything is in position or is in the right place, and then I remove that plastic protector of the double-sided adhesive, and I assemble the box as I'm showing there. I like to verify first if everything is in place before adhering this with this tape, because this tape do not allow mistakes. Once it's in place, it's done, you cannot unstick this, and it's super strong. So there you go, we have the base of the box finished. You can burnish those flaps inside the box to make sure that it's perfectly adhered. You have these flaps on the top of the box that you can fold, or you can also leave them as they were before. I'm going to fold them, and I'm going to use this flap here at the back just to adhere the lid of the box. This is a very clever box design, and it produces very beautiful finishing touches. If you see here, you have that frame there that you can just adhere in the corners to have a very beautiful box base. Now I'm going to adhere the lid of the box. Again, we have flaps here and we are going to add double-sided adhesive on those flaps, and I'm going to cut any excess of tape. We don't need any excess of tape there. Once we have this done, or before as well, there is no an order here to do this, we can then adhere the decorative panels, and then you will be able to identify where you have to stick the different shapes you have there. So there you go. This is one of the two pieces we are going to need to make the box lid, and I'm going to fold the flaps first before gluing them in place. I like to fold them because that helps me to find where I have to glue different pieces. And then once I fold that, and if you see there, I have two identical pieces there. These pieces have a flap in one side, and in the other side they don't have any flap. And that's on purpose because I have to adhere this flap on the other piece side that doesn't have a flap, just like that. Once I have this done, I can then assemble the lid just by gluing these sides like I'm showing here. And then we are going to work towards the top of the lid. And we are going to adhere those tiny little flaps to the sides of the lid like so. And I'm applying pressure on those corners with my fingers to make sure that that double-sided tape is sticking properly the paper there. At this stage, the lid of the box has a lot of shape. All we have to do here is to remove the protected plastic of the double-sided tape here, and we are going to add that decorative panel to seal the lid. This is moving a little bit, so hold it with your hands and make sure that you adhere this piece right in place, and do it slowly so that you guarantee that is not squint and that is straight. Then you can burnish this in the back to make sure that that tape is perfectly adhered there. And I'm going to add as well this lining piece here to not only cover that area, but to guarantee a perfect bond of the top of that lid. Then you can just place the lid on the box base, just like that. Those flaps at the top of the box body will allow you to put the lid in place. The lid won't fall if you do this, but I actually want to add that lid in a different way, just to give you an extra idea. So what I'm going to do here is to add double-sided tape in one of these flaps here, and I'm going to adhere the lid to that flap like so. Okay, so this is done, and what I'm going to do now is to adhere these corners here. You don't need to adhere them if you don't want to, but I want to adhere them. I'm also going to adhere the legs of the box. So this tiny piece here was created also with dies in the set, and I'm just going to adhere it over those little legs of the box. You can also chop those legs if you want, if you don't want any leg, but I think this is a beautiful decorative element. And again, because I'm adhering this over mirror cardstock and pearlescent cardstock, I need to add glue and hold this die cut in place until the glue dries. You can use a clip or something to help you to keep those pieces in place while the glue is drying, and then remove any excess of glue over your mirror cardstock. So once the legs are all adhered in place, this is your box. All you have to do is to choose one of the locks. There is two locks designs. I like this piece here for the box today and actually that's the one that coordinates with these decorative panels I use for my box. And for the other part of the lock, all you have to do is to fold the piece in half. You will find some scoring lines on that die cut as well, and fold the paper like so. Add glue on the center of that piece like I'm doing here, and I'm going to use a clip to hold that piece together while the glue dries. And I'm also going to use liquid glue to adhere this part to the box. And this die cut here is going to tell me where I have to place this. Align that center part of that piece with the line across that decorative panel, and just place it at the top of that panel there and hold it hard with your hands until the glue dries. Once this is in place, you can latch on this little part here and then adhere that to the lid, and you will see how this decorative die on the lid match and coordinate perfectly with that lock, and everything makes sense in this box design. For me, this box is done. Of course, you can embellish with flowers or add some decorative elements on the top of the box, and the sky is the limit. You can also use different paper colors and add lining. To add lining to this box, you have to use these dies here that are the dies you use to die cut the backing panels for the decorative elements of this box. So once you have all those panels, all you have to do is to adhere them inside the box. So the box is done, and it's about 4 inches tall by 5 inches by 3 inches in the side here. And to make this kind of projects, it's ideal to use 240 grams to 270 grams cardstock. Super thin paper is going to make this box very flimsy, and super thick paper is going to make challenging folding and gluing some of the sharp corners this box has. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel or visit the blog for more ideas and inspiration. Thank you very much for watching, and happy crafting. Bye!